Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today on this live webinar. Just an FYI, I am recording this webinar, and we do have a few people joining us on the phone. I don't think that you'll be able to hear them if you're watching this video, but just an FYI. So without further ado, my name is Ashley Pareda. I am the owner of Career in STEM. All of you on the call today are already Career in STEM customers, so thank you. Whether you are a teacher who has purchased our resources or have been using our website with your students in your classroom, thank you for having us as part of your STEM and career readiness initiatives. I'm thrilled to partner with you, and everything that I do is for people like you. So again, thanks, and let's dive in. So again, I'm Ashley. I own Career in STEM. Career in STEM was born out of the frustrations that I experienced as an inner city middle and high school science teacher. I've been teaching in a lot of different capacities since 2008, and time again, I noticed that students had either no idea what they wanted to do when they grew up, or thought they wanted to be something like a doctor, but had no idea what that career was actually all about, and were failing chemistry, for example. So I built Career in STEM from the ground up, essentially as everything that I wish I had as a student in STEM and as a teacher of STEM. So again, everything that you're about to see has been crafted by me and tried and true and tested with real kids, ranging from pre-K to 12, but the majority of my resources are for the middle and high school audience. I want to quickly touch on this. Why STEM careers? I know this is probably preaching to the choir because all of you on the call are probably familiar with this already, but there is a tremendous opportunity in STEM fields. There will be 3.5 million new jobs in the next 5 years. STEM professionals earn double the national average. And across the country, there's a tremendous need for qualified STEM workers. You're probably feeling the pressure from your own local workforce. Companies are desperate for talented STEM workers. Over 2 million jobs are going unfilled each year. To meet this need, some companies are doing things like tuition reimbursement, free training, paid training, stipends, sign-on bonuses, relocation assistance. So it's a great time to be a student interested in STEM careers, and that's precisely our mission here at Career in STEM, is to raise awareness of careers that exist and help teachers integrate careers in the classroom. Which brings me to our goal for today, which is to help you help your students define their interests and connect those interests to careers. My approach is by doing the same thing, so teaching the same content, but using a new lens, the new lens being a STEM career lens. This is not by doing something different. I feel oftentimes in the world of education, we are bombarded with the latest and greatest and the next newfangled tool and this new thing we're supposed to be trying. That is not what I'm about to advocate in this webinar. My approach is by doing what you are already going to do, but through the STEM career lens. So when I say the same content, new lens, I want to show you a real example of how this all works in an actual lesson with real students. This one specifically is the free lesson that all of you will receive at the end of this webinar, and it is a motion and stability / magnetic fields lesson. Magnetic fields can be kind of hard for kids to understand. It's abstract and you can't really see it, so it's hard sometimes to teach abstract concepts. What I did before we get started and going step by step was teach the exact same thing. That's what I advocate in my approach. Teach what you are already going to teach, but teach it through the lens of a STEM career that relates. We're talking about magnetic fields in this lesson. A career that relates is an MRI technician. MRI machines work by magnetic fields. So it's an easy real-world application and a career integration piece. So we still built a thing to show that magnetic fields existed, but I called it an MRI machine rather than just this thing that we're going to build. They still use the machine to pick up paper clips, but I had them arrange the paper clips in a body. So this is not doing something different. This is just using a different name throughout the course of the lesson. We still explored some online resources, And then at the conclusion of the lesson, they're still going to do their exit ticket assessment, which was my favorite, using claim, evidence, and reasoning. But it's not just what are magnetic fields and how do they work. It's that, but going a step further of explain how this relates to an MRI machine, and further know what an MRI technician does. Know that there's a career that connects to what we're doing in this lesson. And this approach can be used in any grade level. So for example, my daughter is in preschool. She loves to build blocks. She still does building all the time. One day I was just like, hey Mila, you know what? You would make a great civil engineer. They love to build buildings just like you do. So I didn't really take it a step further. I could have printed out pictures of famous buildings and had her recreate them. We could have looked at buildings in our town and tried to build those with the blocks. But really at its most basic level, regardless of what grade you're working with, simply naming a career that relates to what you are already going to teach fills a tremendous need for awareness. So you can definitely do this on your own, or if you're looking for some starting points, you can use any of our 150 plus prep free resources that I've already created using this lens. And one more thing to underscore here is that relevance piece. The goal is not to convert every student into an MRI technician or some other STEM professional. The goal is to show them that this content applies in the real world and to a real career. So for students who are interested in it, say Josabel really loved this MRI machine lesson, she could then explore that career more and have that as a starting point where she's connected her interests within your classroom to a career, potential career. So again, I have lots of different resources. Here's just a quick preview of my catalog. Almost all of my resources are under $5. You can browse through at your leisure. And we do offer school and district packages if you're looking to bundle this. So you can buy individually if you're interested, or set up a school account where all your teachers and students can have access to everything that we offer. Okay, so tip number 2. The next most important thing to do is to provide a starting point. You as a teacher are going to need a starting point in trying to integrate careers into your curriculum, and your students also need a starting point to explore STEM careers. There are a lot of good free resources out there, such as the Bureau of Labor Statistics, ONET. I've found in my experience as a teacher that they're not super engaging for students. A lot of them are written at more of an adult level, and it was hard for me to engage my students in wanting to use those tools. Also, a lot of it is just spread out all over the internet. There's tons of great stuff out there. I was just wasting my entire weekends trying to find it. So I built this, which is the Career in STEM Explorer. We have over 95 different career profiles and growing every month. And they're all organized in 5 different ways: interests, alphabetical, personality, gallery, salary. I'll use alphabetical as an example. And there's 2 ways you can use any of these 5 pages. One, as a research tool for yourself. For example, say you're teaching a phase change lab. Phase changes are physics. So I can just scroll through this and see if there's a career that kind of relates to what I was already going to teach. Oh, physicist. Okay, so I can click on that, see if it relates to the content that I was about to teach, and if so, deliver my lesson through that STEM career lens without doing anything different other than just naming the career. So use it for yourself to help you through the process of aligning careers with your curriculum, or as a research tool for students. So early finishers, gifted and talented, enrichment. Imagine if every middle school student in your district had access to something like this, where if you had done a lesson about computer science and Billy was really interested in your lesson, you could say, here, Billy, go to this page and click on computers. Did you know that there's a ton of great jobs with computer science? Did you know that most of them earn over $90,000 a year? So it's a starting point both for you and your students. So if you're looking for an easy place with expertly curated content all in one place, consider our Career in STEM Explorers. So in recapping, do what you are already going to do. Just deliver that same lesson through the lens of a STEM career. Use other resources or our Career Explorer tool to help you find those resources, and take it a step further to connect students with resources to continue exploring. Once a student has identified their interest, the last thing you want to do is leave them hanging, especially when our country is in such tremendous need of qualified STEM workers. And imagine if everybody, I myself know a lot of adults who are miserable in their jobs. And I think a lot of that can be avoided if we only provide more awareness and exploration resources at a younger age. And that is precisely my mission here at Career in STEM. So thank you so much for being part of this. I do have a few, like I said, on the phone, but I'm not sure that I can actually physically answer questions since I can't hear the audio, but I'm more than happy to answer any questions you might have, or set up a one-on-one call, do a demonstration if you wanted to explore something else in more detail. You can reach me anytime at ashley@careerinstem.com, and all registered attendees of this webinar will be receiving a free resource. So again, thank you so much for being part of this, and I look forward to continuing our collaboration, and thank you again for being already a valued customer at Career in STEM.